Hey YouTube. So we did Karen's 1 year review. Now we're gonna do mine. We got our bikes, I don't know, 6-8 weeks apart, and it's pretty close to being a year or so. And I did a 2,000 mile review. I have let's see what it says, 2,264 miles on the bike. I could take a picture of it, but you guys can just take my word for it. This is the shim that came out of it. I did a video the other day with me putting a Cane Creek shim in it. The main difference is the Cane Creek is about 1 inch longer and it has a bigger lip on it, and it sets right even with the top of the clamp. Whereas this set down below the clamp and has a tendency to turn. It actually looks like it's about the same thickness, but I don't believe the seat post is moving down anymore like it was. I have to look and see what it is on most of the time. It is set on 4 right now, where I normally have it set. So second set of tires, I have new pedals, cell phone holder, new handlebars, this bag, seat post. So let me comment on the seat post. If you run the standard seat post, you won't have to mess with this shim. I wanted to run a different seat, and the seat would not fit on that other contraption. It just wasn't enough room between the top of the bottom of the seat and the top of the seat post clamp, so it was an interference issue, and I would have changed it eventually anyway. Those seat clamps, after they get a few thousand miles on them, tend to fail, and seat post isn't something you want to fail, because it can leave you stranded on the trail. So I've had to do a fair bit of maintenance, more on Karen's bike than this one. The brakes pretty much stay set, and that's because the cable routing on this bike is more gradual bends all the way up to the lever. One thing I should do is pull out this cable and re-grease it, but I figured I'm just going to wait until it's time to replace it, and then just measure the cable and buy a cable set, and replace the whole cable front and back, and cable housings, and put something with better quality that's lined. I've had to extrude this wheel or retension the wheel twice, and you'll know when it's time to do it. It'll start creaking and making noises. The bike has held up well. The derailleurs held up well. The chain just recently got replaced. If you guys haven't seen that, there is a video on there. A 114 chain works. It's a little short, but it works. So I'd go somewhere between 116 and 117. You ain't gonna find a 117 link chain. You're gonna find it either 119 or 114 or something in between, but probably not 117. 119 links is pretty much a standard chain length. That's the longest you can buy. You know, a longer chain than that, then you probably would have to piece a chain together. The old chain's still laying down here on the ground, because I haven't wanted to get my fingers greasy and get rid of it yet. bike has held up well. Uh, it's almost time for brake pads on the front. The backs are still good. But when I do eventually do something with it this winter, it will probably be an upgrade to the rotors and the pads. And like I said, I'm going to keep the brakes that we have on the bike um, and just upgrade those. I'm still thinking about a 9-speed upgrade. I was looking at this. I still have quite a bit of room between the hub, in there to put it in there. I'm not sure if it'll fit, but once I get to the point that I've made the decision what I'm going to do, and then I'll measure it and make sure that the 9-speed cassette or freewheel will fit in there. Like I said, I'm thinking this chain ring will be fine for a 9-speed, but the chain will have to be replaced again. So here's a little warning to you guys that bought those 11-speed chain rings. Part of the reason why you can find 12 and 13 all day long is because they tend to last longer. The 11-speed ring is going to wear really quickly, especially if you use it a lot. Less teeth means faster wear. Typically a freewheel will last about 5,000 miles, and then you're going to have to replace it anyway. Usually 2 or 3 chain changes, and then you need new freewheel. Another side effect of using 11 tooth can be that the chain can actually, when it starts to wear, will start skipping on that tooth. It'll actually slip past the tooth profile. So keep that in mind. I'm not telling you you're wrong for getting 11 tooth, but I would have went for a 12 or a 13 tooth chain ring. That an extra 2 teeth on here would probably make a big difference, but I find myself to 7th gear's enough. I really don't want to go that much faster. But the bike's held up well. I forgot to say that I also had to replace this crank arm here. I hit a post with it, just barely grazed it and bent it. That's a statement to the quality of the crank arms. I've completely ruined frames and not bent crank arms before this, so these are really cheap. The one that I put on it is different than the one that was on it. It's a little beefier than the other one, so maybe it'll hold up better. So I see a lot of bikes coming with bent crank arms, and I'm not surprised. Pro wheel. I see Pro Wheel on a lot of different stuff now, and I'm thinking, I hope it isn't all that crappy. My pedals are made by Inley. There's a couple of different companies that make the exact same pedal, they just put a different name on it. These are made in Taiwan. They have replaceable dimples on here. You have to have a special tool to get them off, but they're triple bearings. So there's 3 bearings in there, and they're really smooth. They really hold your feet on the your shoes on the pedals, especially since I'm not riding with bike shoes most of the time. There's a lot. I have 153 videos out there, and most of them on repairs or things that you can repair. These bike tires are almost done. They're going to end up, I rotated these, and the back one's already starting to look like it's hardly has any tread left on it, so I might not get another 500 miles on it, but I imagine I'm going to have to order tires this winter and to replace these again, and I'm not going to buy anything expensive. I learned my lesson. I'm going to buy. I'm thinking that I'm going to put those Shinko 244 tires on it, and one and done. They're $41, $42 a piece, and they're rated to 15,000 miles on a motorcycle. This weighs less than a third of what the size motorcycle they would typically come on. Less than a third, more probably like a 10% of what it, well, a quarter of what they weigh. So they'll last a lot longer than 15,000 miles. Probably be the last tires that are on this bike that I use. So other than that, everything's holding up great. I would expect another 2,500 miles out of everything. Sometime this winter, I will service the motor. Mainly just put grease in the on the plastic gears on the inside, and at that time we'll probably discover who actually manufactured. I think it's Bafang, but we'll find out for sure if Bafang manufactured it when we tear it down, and you'll get a video of that when I get to that point. Well, just seen a reflection. I thought somebody was coming out the door. Well, I'm going to go for my ride today. Hope y'all have a great day. Like and subscribe. If you have any questions about what I've done to the bike, what accessories I'm using, put them in the comments. Have a great day.